Today we're talking clairvoyance. I'm really excited to dive into this intuitive sense that means clear seeing. So if you're someone who is very visual, let's say maybe you like to draw, you like to paint, maybe you love film or photography or like graphic design or something like that. Maybe you're a daydreamer. If you're someone who, when people tell you stories and you're listening to them talk, you're actually in your mind, you're visualizing like where everyone was, what they were wearing, how they looked, the looks on their faces, that kind of stuff. If you naturally kind of do that, if you're attracted to those kinds of things, or you kind of do that when you listen to people tell stories, well, then there's a really good chance that clairvoyance might be a really strong intuitive sense for you. Clairvoyance or clear seeing is just in being able to see things with our inner eye. So this could look like being able to see symbols, being able to visualize colors, being able to see shapes, being able to, connect to pictures in our mind. Like I said, they could be daydreams, it could be our own kind of creative visions, but it can also be recalling memories and really being able to strongly recall visual elements of your experience. So the way this works, though, when it comes to intuition, intuitive information can come into our field in this way. So it's really interesting because I've mentioned earlier that the line between intuition and imagination is really very thin, and it really takes working with our imagination, working with our intuition to sort of become more tuned into what is intuition and what is imagination, and to be able to discern, kind of what is real and fantasy, and what is intuitive information coming in that's like a possibility or potential that's being shown to us. So that just takes time. I wish I could tell you that there's like a really hard, fast, sure way to be able to tell, but it really comes with time and consistency and being able to validate information that comes through, watching how things play out as information comes in, and just over time learning and growing, this muscle. All right. The clairvoyance is connected to the third eye center. So a lot of people talk about the third eye chakra being the psychic center. Yes, that is true, but very specifically, the third eye is connected to our ability to clearly see, to be able to clearly see. So this also is connected to, this energy center is also connected to discernment, which again is a really important element of when I was talking about, being able to tell the difference between intuition and imagination, between fact and fiction. A lot of that is also connected to this center. And again, that comes with time and sort of refining this instrument, if you will. So let's explore getting into, let's explore our clairvoyance. Okay, this is a really cool intuitive center. I want to remind you, we talked about the claircognizance, and that was a pretty tricky one because there's no real like information or something to kind of hold on to other than like this deep knowing and this sense. So we played with that in the prompts and everything, and we played with that in the exercise last week. This time we've got a little more to work with. So I'm going to walk you through some basic exercises, or basically some little clairvoyant calisthenics. We tap into our imagination, our inner creative vision, kind of warm the muscle up that way, and then we'll drop something in there to see if there's anything that wants to come through. But I do want to remind you that if it doesn't work for you today, if you have a hard time visualizing or seeing something in your mind's eye, it's totally okay. It's very normal and natural that as we move through each one of these energy centers and through these different intuitive senses, that we're stronger in some than we are in others. Again, I mentioned, if you're an artist of any kind, if you're a filmmaker, or you do photography, or a graphic designer, or you're an artist of some sort, a visual artist of some sort, there's a good chance that you're going to feel very connected to this, But if you're someone who just has a hard time seeing things in your mind's eye anyway, you're not really a visual person, maybe you're more kinesthetic and you feeling with your body, well, this might not be a strong sense for you, and that's okay. We're just going to try to warm it up today and see how it goes, and if it doesn't pan out that great, that's okay. Keep working on it. It's just like exercise. The more we flex these muscles, the stronger they get, and eventually some of this stuff can come online. Again, we're probably going to be stronger in certain areas than others. Just depends on who we are. but there's really no right or wrong thing, and it's not good or bad if you can or can't see stuff. I just want to mention that because sometimes people worry about that in the work and in my workshops. You know, they're like, I can't see anything. What does that mean? It's like, it's okay. It just means that this isn't a strong sense, and you know, I can't pick up a Mack truck with my bare hands. That doesn't sound a good or a bad thing. I just don't have it in me, and that's okay. I don't know anybody that can do that, actually, except for the Incredible Hulk and the Marvel superheroes. Okay, so let's dive into our clairvoyance. So wherever you are now, go ahead and close your eyes. And you're just going to take 3 big energy clearing breaths to kind of reset to energy neutral. Okay, so take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Settle into energy neutral. Settling into your body. Another big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Good, one more time, big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Good, now turn your awareness to your third eye center. And just breathe into that intuitive center for a second, like we did in the chakra meditation. So kind of inhale and exhale and just connect to this center. Sometimes it helps even if you kind of like with your eyes closed or looking up at the center of your forehead. That can help us activate and connect to this center. So just draw your awareness to your inner eye, at the center of your forehead. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to imagine is try to visualize a color. Try to visualize a color, and it helps a lot when we're working with our intuitive senses to set that intention to see a color, and then when you exhale and breathe out, allow it to just emerge. So it's almost like on that exhale, you release and relax the whole body and all your senses, and it's like it creates space for something to just sort of emerge from the depths of our intuitive awareness. So set that intention to see a color on your inhale, and exhale. I saw the color blue. Take a big deep energy clearing breath in. Exhale, release. Breathe it out. Go to energy neutral. Keeping your attention focused on your inner eye. Now call in the image of a cartoon character. Just take a breath in, call in the image of a cartoon character, exhale, allow that image to emerge. And I saw Pluto, the dog. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. In your mind's eye, see if you can visualize the face of someone you love. Ask to see the image of someone's face that you love, and just on the exhale, breathe out and allow that image to arise. And see if you can connect to the shape of their face, the color of their eyes, the color of their hair, the complexion, the color of their skin. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Now call in your favorite childhood memory, or like an image of your favorite childhood memory. Something that feels good and brings happy memories. Just in your mind's eye, see if you can see that scene or that memory. Who was there, where you were, what you were doing. Just continue to breathe, call in that memory, and on your exhale, release, relax everything, and just allow the image to emerge. It's kind of fun for me. Saw this water park that we used to go to when we were kids. That's fun. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Now just ask your higher self and loving awareness to show you yourself in 5 years. What will you look like? Where will you be? What will you be doing? Just try that out. See what comes in. On your inhale, set that intention to see yourself 5 years from now, what you look like, what you're doing, who you're with, where you are. Exhale, release. And just see if any visual images come in. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Go ahead and close down your third eye. Open up your physical eyes. Bring it back here. All right. So let me know how that goes. I would love to know in the discussion or the chat. The exercise we just went through is very simply how intuitive information arises. Again, for the first several prompts, we just used our imagination or our memory. And then that last one was, well, it could be creative. It could be just coming from ourselves. It could be our fantasy. It could be maybe an intuitive hit or instinct, but only you will be able to discern that and find that out as you learn to work with this process and grow and develop your intuitive skills. But very simply, that's how that process works. So let me know if you were able to get all of those. If something came in for all of them, let me know if some of them worked. And pay attention to what was stronger for you, because this can sometimes be a good indicator of how your intuition might be able to speak to you. In my personal experience, both in my own meditation practices and then when I do intuitive insights and readings for folks, is all the crayons in the crayon box are on the table when it comes to how information might be shared. Sometimes I will physically see something that I've never experienced, or that might be physically visually relevant to what the person's going through. Sometimes it's more symbolic and metaphorical, and sometimes I see memories that bring with them other feelings and understandings that are communicating what the person is going through. So really, in my intuitive practice and in my intuitive work, really all of those things can be used to convey information. I've just been working with it for so long that I understand better what's intuitive and what's not, and and sometimes it's hard to tell, which is why I have a very specific practice of getting into meditation and getting into a space and then very deliberately kind of engaging with this part of myself so that it's more intentional and more conscious. And so that's what I hope to cultivate with you here as well. But play with this. Let me know how it went for you. Also, engage in the prompts for the next week. One example of the prompts that I set up is next time you watch your favorite movie or TV show, try and pay attention to the visual language of the piece. And what I mean by that is look at the color palette. Like, what are the colors being used on screen and what is that conveying, right? A lot of times filmmakers and artists are very intentional. Not always, but for the most part, artists are very intentional about, where they place the camera, what the shot looks like, how many people are in the shot, who the shot's focused on, the camera angles, you know, whether it's a low angle or a high angle, if there's movement, the colors in the frame, all that kind of stuff typically is used to convey something. You know, it could accentuate an emotion, it could make us feel a certain way about a character. Low angles can tend to make people feel like they're more empowered, maybe they're a little bit daunting. The lower it gets, you know, it's kind of like intimidating. And when we're looking down on characters, sometimes that's a sense of, you know, exactly what I just said, looking down on someone feeling small, someone in a disempowered position. Not always, but those are some of the examples. Next time you watch your favorite movie or TV show, just look at the visual language and the shots and the colors and the framings and the cinematography, the lighting, all of it, and just trying to get in the mind of the creator and say, oh, what is this shot intending to tell me by using, you know, this movement or by using that angle? And by doing something like that, you're starting to actually engage with how to speak a visual language, and a visual language that very much translates into intuitive work, as I've come to understand it and have found out. So that's an example of one of the prompts that you can explore. It's very practical. It's a really fun way to kind of engage and tune into this third eye center and our clairvoyance, and on the day-to-day begin to start to expand the dialogue that we're having with our inner vision or with our visual language altogether. All right, so let me know how that process goes. Let me know what shows and films you're watching. We can maybe talk about those too, because that's always fun. But thank you so much for joining me today, for tapping into your clairvoyance and exploring that. I'm really excited to continue on this journey. So spend your time this week with this intuitive sense, and then when you're ready, after maybe a week, but of course you can do this at your own pace, click into the next video. We're going to tap into the next intuitive sense and explore that together. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. See ya.